Faith is a loaded word in our society, right? Do you have faith? Can mean, do you have faith in a dogma, in a religious tradition, in a teaching? Do you have faith in Jesus Christ? In fact, being raised Catholic, when I decided to become a minister, I remember driving with my father, and as he knew I wasn't going to be a Catholic priest, he was like a little concerned, and he goes, well, do you believe in Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior? And then I took a deep breath and gulped, and I did the translation because I know the meaning. I know what it means to him, and I know what it means to me. And I answered yes, because I know what he means by Jesus Christ as my personal Lord and Savior. I mean by the Christ consciousness, the Buddha consciousness, that overall divine consciousness that is my personal Savior. Because when I'm wallowing in the pain and in the fear and in the despair, that higher elevation of consciousness, the Christ, the principle of consciousness, saves me. And it is my personal Savior. It is my personal rule to shift consciousness, as we talked about 2 weeks ago too, from that victim suffering consciousness to the higher Christ consciousness. The consciousness that knows that God and I are one. There is no separation. That every part of this body is divinely made. There is no corner, no speck, no little part of it that isn't whole and holy. Do you know that about your body? Every toenail, hangnail, every freckle, every blemish is divine. Because our first principle in Unity, if you haven't heard it yet, hear it today, is that there is only one power and one presence active and working in the universe. Only one, God. And if that's true, if there is only the divine, and we are all swimming in it, we are all part of it, we are all expressions of the divine, then there is no part of you that isn't whole and holy and complete. Just as you are. Just as you're expressing right now. And when we can bless that, every little part of us that we think isn't good enough, like I said earlier, not tall enough, not whatever enough, right? We can breathe into going, I am whole. I have faith that this journey of life, this divine voyage I'm on, has taken me to the right and perfect place for my divine expression. I am here by divine appointment. Can you know that? You are here by divine appointment. This is not some cosmic accident, but you are here to be the unique expression of the divine that the world needs right here and now. Bless. And faith is what we call upon when we need to act that way in the face of misery and fear and doubt and pain in the world. To be the voice and the presence of faith when your friend is explaining the diagnosis they just got. To be the presence of faith when you're with your spouse who's lost their job, with your child who was hurt at school, with your family member who is hurling nasty things at you. To be the presence of faith and know that words cannot affect the truth of who I am. Circumstances cannot diminish the light that we let shine. So we light the candle for faith today to remind us to be faith in action, in the world, in understanding. This just happens to be tonight is the first night of Hanukkah too, right? And tonight we will light the first candle on the menorah for Hanukkah. And next week, we'll have a whole menorah celebration as we get to light the whole thing and party. But it is and we celebrated Diwali last month as well. And Kwanzaa is coming up, and Ramadan, and all the festivals at this time of year, remembering the truth of who we are. And that takes courage, right? It takes courage to be that optimistic in a world that wants you to be pessimistic, to want you to agree with it about how bad things are and how you should be afraid, very afraid. And that's why we should all have guns to protect ourselves. Right? If you believe certain circles, that's what they'll tell you. Well, I've never owned a gun. I never will own a gun, and I've been perfectly protected my whole life because I have something larger than a gun protecting me. I have my faith in the divine and in my place with the divine. Now, I don't mean that to be political, because it's not. It's not political because it's not about sides. It's about a deeper truth that knows that no number of guns will ever truly protect you. What really will protect you is your divine identity, is your understanding of who and what you are, and your commitment to walk that talk. Dr. King said it this way about faith. Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase, right? And last week we talked about Kyle Rittenhouse, and this week we're talking about the Aubrey trial and the ramifications of all of that. But this has been a conversation that has been going on for the 400 years alone in this country and centuries of the world. Faith in a racial justice perspective is taking the next right step, even when it's really painful to do so. Even when we have to look at our own biases, our own prejudices, our own privilege, and lay them out bare. But that's not easy either, right? But to look at all the advantages we've had in our lives, and I'm speaking for myself, all the advantages I have in my life because of the color of my skin and because of my gender, right? And how doors were opened and opportunities were made easy for me that weren't made as easy for my brothers and sisters. And I'm taking each little baby step along that road, knowing that the steps aren't small for the baby. They're life-changing. They're monumental. When a baby takes its first steps, its whole new world opens up for the baby and for the parents. Right? Changes everything for everyone. So faith is about taking that step when we don't know where it's going to lead us. But here's the thing, folks. It's going to lead us away from the pain of now. It's going to lead us away from the pain of what we've been living in and what we keep recreating. The hurt, the pain, the injustice, the social disparity of our nation. And we've got to stop pretending, and I say pretending purposefully, that there's only so many pieces of the pie. Right? That if I give up my little slice of privilege, I won't have enough. Well, the universe is infinite, and God is infinite potential, right? Or is your God really small? just a question, right? It's like, because when I first came to Unity, my God was really, really small. And I had to consciously redefine what was possible every day of my life. Is it possible for me to get this? Is it possible for me to have this in my life? Is it possible that when I'm getting isn't taking away from anyone else? And the answer is yes. When you believe that there's enough good for each and every one of us, there's the right and perfect partner, whether it's romantic or business or just friendship. There's the right and perfect opportunities for all of us. There is more than enough money in the world to go around. I'll say that again. There is more than enough money in the world to go around, right? There is more than enough money in the world to go around. And if that little voice in your head is saying, oh no, there's not, it's limited, that's your opportunity to redefine what faith is for you, right? When you can take these principles and the principle of faith into every aspect of your life, your romance, your friendships, your family relationships, your finances, and know that there's enough. There's enough in your bank account, there's enough in the world, and that every channel of the universe is open to flowing and filling your bank accounts. Can you say that? Every channel of the world is open and ready to fill my bank accounts, right? That's faith. That is faith. It erases the lack, the doubt, the despair that we live with daily. And then if we listen to enough news, we will say that, oh my God, gas is $5 a gallon. Well, it was $5 a gallon 10 years ago when I was in ministerial school. And everybody's upset that it's $5 a gallon again. It's like, it's not real, right? When I was a kid, centuries ago, as my son would tell us, that gas was 25 cents a gallon. 25 cents a gallon, I would take the little gas can to the corner gas station and fill it so I could do the lawnmower, right? It's not that different. Rent was a lot cheaper too, right? But there's more than enough to go around. But if your definition of faith is belief in a single being, Jesus, God, Buddha, if your definition of faith is a dogma or a teaching or a way, one specific way of life, I invite you to redefine faith for yourself. What does it mean to have faith in? I have faith in. I have faith in what? Yourself, as Cleo just sang for us so beautifully. I have faith in you. I have faith that you can achieve anything you set your mind to, anything you put your heart and soul into. I know it can happen. I've watched it in many of you and watched it happen for you, as we've talked about. There's an opportunity to understand that faith is a living, breathing exercise, and that you already have all the faith you'll ever need. Say it again. You already have all the faith you'll ever need. But where is your faith? Do you have faith in the lack? Do you have faith in the diagnosis? Do you have faith in the prognosis? Do you have faith in the pain? Or do you have faith in the overcoming? So the opportunity is to shift what you're putting your faith in. Because believe me, the universe does not care which one you choose. Just choose. The universe is benign in that it's like, okay, I wouldn't have chosen that for you, but if you really want to believe that life is hard, go ahead. Believe life is hard. It will be hard. Because it's what you want. You're telling the universe very clearly what you want. And trust me, I get it. I mean, as you know, I've had to bury a nephew this past 2 months. Well, it's less than a month, just over a month ago. I've had to deal with my sister and her heartbreak and her pain and her family and trying to deal with all of that. And I have faith that my sister's going to make it, that Noah is really good. He's really well. And I know all of you are dealing with things just as difficult and more. So I invite you in this moment to shift where you're putting your faith and to live in this season, to living into the full faith that you are an expression of the divine and you are here to do something special, to do something miraculous by your very presence. The last quote I want to share with you is from my Metamorphosis course from Absolute Abundance. And it's this: when you take a bold step, when you leap, with faith, the universe will conspire to support you. Now, it may not work out like you think it will. That's not what I'm saying. But the universe has multiple ways, infinite ways of fulfilling your dreams, your desires, and your goals. Have faith and watch it manifest.